Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will talk about the Personal Injury module, recently added to the eCMS and eIMMIGRATION software. Please note that in order to use this feature, the Personal Injury module must be installed to your account, as it is not a default feature. If you are interested, you may contact your sales rep. For this video, we will assume you have the Personal Injury module installed to your account. Let us log into the caseworker portal. The first thing to review is the new case processes associated with personal injury. Let us go into the administrative tools by clicking on the settings button on the top right and proceeding to click on administrative tools. Once inside the admin tools, click on case processes. Once inside, click on system processes on the tabs to the right. You are now in the system processes. This is an area that has stock case types for you to choose from. In the area of practice, you will click on the drop box and select Personal Injury. You will now see a list of case types belonging to personal injury. These case types were added with the help of personal injury attorneys. Should you want to use these, you can click on the Select button on the left and select Copy to Case Processes. A pop-up will appear asking if you want to copy all the forms, steps, documents, questionnaires, and letters. Once confirming what you want to bring over, you will click on Create. In doing so, you have added this to your case processes, and it is now available to use when creating a case. If you would like to add other case types, you can follow the same steps. If you wish to modify the case process to your office needs, on the description of this video is a link showing you how to modify case processes. Now that we have a couple personal injury cases added here, let us go into the case profile and create a personal injury case. Let us click on the settings icon on the top right and click on Caseworker Module. From here, let us click on the Create button and select Case. The Create Case wizard has appeared. We will have the software auto-generate a number or manually input it. Choose to add a case name and add a department. We will then be asked to select the area of practice. From the drop-down list, we will select Personal Injury. It is important to note that if you are doing a personal injury case, you must select this area of practice so that the personal injury settings appear on the case. Under Process, we can select a personal injury case process from the list we previously saw in Admin, and as optional, we can select a program type and category for reporting purposes. We will click on Next. We will then assign caseworkers. Once we have those caseworkers defined, we can click on Next. We will then link a client to the case. If you have a client profile, you may search for them and link them. If you do not have a client, you may click on Add New Client to create a client profile for that person. Once you have your client linked, you will define their role as plaintiff. If you would like to add the opposing party, you can link that client profile similarly or create a new one, and once linked, you will set the role as defendant. You will make your client the main party and click on Next. As an option, you can add forms. However, please note that we currently do not have personal injury specific forms. Should you want to implement some, you can contact your sales rep regarding possible implementation under professional services. Once finished, you will click on Create. You have now created a personal injury case. By creating a personal injury case, you will see a few new features. On the tabs to the right, you will have a new tab titled Personal Injury Details. If clicked, it will expand to show a few things. The first is insurance claims. If clicked, it will open to an area we can input insurance claim details. By clicking Add Insurance Claim, we will be able to enter things like claim number, liability accepted, claim type, which has a drop-down menu option, claim status, in which I can update now or after creating the insurance claim. You can also search for an insurer. You can either enter the insurance company or NAIC code, and it will find a match. Once you have found the insurance company, click on it, and you have now linked this to that insurance company. You can then, as an option, enter more details such as policy number, the party, adjuster name, adjuster fax, phone, email, the coverage limit per person and per occurrence, a settlement date, a settlement amount, and lastly, any notes. Once you have entered your desired information, you will click on Save. You have now added an insurance claim to the case profile. If at any point you want to modify, you can come back to their case, go to this area, click the Select drop-down menu and click on Edit, updating the necessary information. Besides giving you the ability to enter insurance information, in an industry first, Cerenade has created a secure portal for healthcare providers. And with this healthcare portal, it allows you a direct way to communicate with those healthcare providers and vice versa. This healthcare portal is not specific to your account, meaning it gives the healthcare provider the ability to communicate with other users of eCMS or eIMMIGRATION, all in one central location. In order to communicate with the healthcare provider, we must first connect with them. This is done in the Admin Tools. Let us click on the Settings tab on the top right and click on Administrative Tools. From inside the Admin Tools, let us click on Application Settings. On the tabs to the right, you will now see HCP Connections. In order to connect with the healthcare provider, you will go to the Connection Requests. You will then be asked to enter the NPI of the healthcare provider you wish to connect with. More than likely, you will not know it. However, right below is a link to the NPI registry. If we click on it, it should open up a new tab where you can search for the healthcare provider entering their name, location, or any other information, and once located, you will see them listed. But more importantly, you will see their NPI number. Proceed to copy it, and coming back to the Admin Tools, paste it and click on Search. The software will now pull up details of that healthcare provider directly on the software. To finalize making the request, you will confirm the contact person you wish to reach, which may be a doctor, a nurse, or other, a phone number you may have or the one listed, a mobile number which is optional, and lastly, an email address. Once you have entered this information, you will click on Connect. By doing so, this sends a notification to Cerenade in which our team will now work to contact the healthcare provider and instruct them on how to access their healthcare portal. If the client has agreed to use the healthcare portal, our team will confirm this, and they will now appear under the Connected HCPs tab in your application settings. They will also be reflected in the connection logs. If the healthcare provider did not want to use the healthcare portal or was unresponsive, then they will be rejected, and that information will also appear here in the logs. You will also receive an email with this information. Please note that this connection request must only be done once per healthcare provider. Once connected, they can be used for multiple cases moving forward. Once you have made a connection, you can now go into the case. Let us click on the Settings button and proceed to click on Caseworker module. Then you will click on Cases to locate the case you created. Once inside the case, click on the Personal Injury Details to expand and select Healthcare Provider and Patients. You will then click on Assign Healthcare Provider to Case Parties. You will then search for the healthcare provider you connected with in Admin, and once a match is found, click on their name. Please note that if you do not see a healthcare provider here as an option, then more than likely you have not connected with them as explained earlier in this video. You will then select your party and link them to this healthcare provider. Once finished, click on Done. You have successfully linked a client to a healthcare provider. They will now be notified about this new patient. To now communicate with the provider, you will go to the tab that says Treatment Collaboration Logs. You will click on Add Log. A pop-up will appear where you can select the patient, which would be your client, a log description where it is open to anything you want to communicate such as comments or requests, and lastly, you can upload an image file. Once finished, you will click on Save. You and the healthcare provider will now communicate back and forth via these logs. You via the caseworker portal and the healthcare provider via the healthcare portal. As you can see, with these added features, you will now be able to add specific personal injury details onto the case, on top of using already existing case management features built into the software, such as process steps, compose letters, document assembly, and more. On the description of this video are links to those case management features. This concludes our video on the personal injury module.